As you know, the great event took place last week in the history of space exploration. Dragon 2 spaceship, developed by SpaceX company, SpaceX Corporation, successfully topped off its mission.
3, 2, 1, 0. Ignition. Liftoff of the Falcon 9 and Crew Dragon. Go NASA, go SpaceX, Godspeed, bottom.
Let's turn to history and recall something from recall some general moments from it. As you probably know, the aim of foundation of SpaceX company, SpaceX Corporation, was to reduce transportation costs in space, and one of the initial aims is a further colonization of Mars.
We are awaiting confirmation the parachute has deployed. Parachute was detected. Heat shield deployed event. Spacecraft reporting that heat shield has indeed jettisoned. Lander separation event has been detected. Spacecraft reporting lander is separated, moving at a speed of 173 miles per hour. We are near our terminal velocity. Expected retro rocket ignition on my mark.
So here we go. I think they are on their way. Of course, it will take a lot of time to come, but they are on the right way, I guess. And I feel sorry about our space industry. I mean, Russian space industry. My grandfather, he was deeply involved in this industry, and he was one of those who developed those engines that were provided to Americans with a view to sending their shuttles to space. And 20 years ago, he said, we will provide these engines to Americans for another 20 years, and he predicted the exact date, the exact number, 20 years. Here we go. Americans develop their own engines. Probably I feel sorry about that, but I have a question: whose fault is that? Americans? I don't think so. And let's now talk about some useful vocabulary from this delayed news. Launch, where you can launch a rocket into space. Launch, a very good word. Russians, we were the first who launched the first satellite into the space in 1937.
Made celestial body for the first time in history overcame terrestrial gravity and flew into space.
Over the fault, not.
We were the first who launched the first human into the space in 1961.
Victory by sending the first man into space. Yuri Gagarin took flight in a capsule-like spacecraft called Vostok 1, which was adapted from a Soviet intercontinental ballistic missile, the R-7 Semyorka. Beginning his flight at the Baikonur Cosmodrome in southern Kazakhstan, Gagarin reached a maximum height of 203 miles. Vostok 1 had no engines to slow it for re-entry, so Gagarin successfully landed by ejecting and parachuting back.
Also, you can use this word in other contexts. One of them is, you can say, launch a project in a company. Launch a project. Also, another word that I mentioned is top off. Top off a mission. Top off a mission. Dragon 2 by SpaceX successfully topped off its mission. Topped off, it means finished. Finished. And of course, you know this word probably. Satellite. Satellite, it's little dots that we can see in the clear sky at night that are moving, that look like stars, that resemble stars, but actually they are satellites. And I like the word that is constellation, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, constellation. I just read the news and I found this word, constellation. Constellation, or another word, cluster. Cluster of stars, or constellation. Constellation of stars. Yeah.
Astronomers like to know how blue the blue stars are and how red the red stars are. So we'll first sort these stars out by color, blue on the left and red on the right. Next, we'll sort the stars according to brightness, the brightest stars at the top and the faint stars at the bottom.
Constellation of stars. Yeah, constellation of stars. Yeah, in the sky we have constellation of stars. Yeah. So learn this vocabulary. Learn this vocabulary. That's very useful, I guess. Yeah. So here's the news.
Reports say all systems are go.